Okay, guys. Today I want to talk about something that you really should carry in your bug out bag, and not so much in your bug out bag, but it should be on your person at all times. And and that's the knowledge um, that comes with learning survival. Um, Learning survival is a very hard thing for some people to comprehend. There are two ways to bug out. You go bug out with your buddies for fun. Go on a little survival hunting, camping, what have you trip, and you just go bug out for 2 or 3 days. You're gonna get home. You know where your car is. You're not really lost. You're just doing it for the fun of it. Then there's the real life scenario where you know shit hits the fan in your hometown, or even world or even nationwide. And people are looting and stealing and whatnot. And the simple fact of the matter is you have to have a willingness to survive. And a lot of people go out there and they can go out there with minimal you know stuff. They can go out there with a small pack, you know 3 days worth of food, you know a very small tarp, you know and a survival knife, some string, the bare basics, the bare of the bare basics, and come back alive. And then you got these guys who will go out there and they'll have 3 days worth of food and water procurement and a rifle and a sidearm and 10 knives and a camp hatchet and a tent and a fishing pole, and they've got everything they need to survive, and they end up dying, and their family either never finds their body or finds their body 2 or 3 months later. It comes to remind me of a movie that I've seen, and it's a really sad movie, and I was actually born on this guy's birthday, and it's Into the Wild, and it's about a guy named Christopher McCandless, or as he used to call himself, Alexander Supertramp. He was a tramp, for a while, and then he decided he wanted to go live in the wilderness. Well, he had everything that he needed. What happened is he started getting discouraged and started getting a little stressed out when it come to food. He started to actually starve, and then he made a bad choice on some food that he ate, and poor guy, he suffered a long, excruciating death because basically he ate some leaves that caused his body not to take any nutrients, any vitamins or minerals or anything like that. So whatever he ate, his body didn't accept the vitamins, minerals, or anything like that, and he died a very horrific death. And the poor guy, he knew his stuff, but the stressors added up. His morale went down. He started stressing out. He panicked. He didn't second check what he was going to eat. You need to go and you need to keep your morale high. You need to, find ways to keep morale, and you need to find ways to pass the time and keep your mind busy. Hunting comes with a lot of ups and downs. Some days you might catch more than enough food, procure that food and ration it properly, and you'll be okay. And then there's times that you'll go 5-6 days without catching anything. Try different motives of catching, or different ways of catching food. Trapping, hunting, fishing. There are numerous ways to catch and to get food. But more than that, when it comes to plants, do your studies on your plants. Do your survival guides. Study plants in general. Poisonous, non-poisonous. Some plants are poisonous in some parts of them. You might be able to eat the root, but not be able to eat the rest of it. The root might be poisonous if uncooked, and then other plants may be poisonous if cooked or if eaten with alcohol. You also need to take into consideration, who are you going with? Are you going with family members? Do you have wife and kids? There's a lot of responsibility there. Teach your kids about staying near you and listening, and sometimes you need to teach your kids to be quiet. It's really important, because predatory animals seek out small voices, because small animals, make small voices. Teach your kids to stay quiet, and teach your wife to help you stay alert for other wild animals and predatory animals, such as cougars and lynxes, badgers, things of that nature. Really, a badger's not going to hurt you unless you approach it. A wolverine's really not going to snoop unless you come into contact with it. Then there's another spectrum. I've noticed a lot of bug outs bags are missing a very, very crucial part of their life sustainment and whatnot. Very, very important piece of equipment that will save your life, and that's either a snake bite kit or a sting and bite kit. I've noticed that a lot of people leave those out, and I don't know why. It's very lightweight, and it doesn't take up much room in your bag. And that could be the difference between life and death. A tourniquet can't save your life whenever you've been bitten by a snake. Especially a rattlesnake, cottonmouth, copperhead. There's so many snakes out there, and so many venomous animals and insects out there that can and will kill you. There's another thing. When you're setting up base camp and you roll out your bed, unzip your sleeping bag, leave it open. That way, before you go and you get in bed, all you have to do is take a glance in to see. You'll notice a lump that's in your bed that shouldn't be there. Teach your kids to be aware and listen for the sound of a rattlesnake. Some snakes don't have rattles, and they don't warn you when they're going to strike. So be aware, if you have handicapped people in your family, such as your wife and kids, try to find other means of bugging out. Maybe you know somebody who owns a cabin up in the woods that's real solitary, real back in the woods, but you can get to it with a vehicle. Try to go for something like that. It's really important to be able to keep them safe without pushing them to the point to where they don't want to survive. Like I said, the willingness to survive is going to get you out, more than having any of that equipment that you put in your bug out bag. All that equipment without knowledge and the willingness to survive is not going to do you very good. So in that, just think about, plans, contingency plans, backup plans, really do your studies on a lot of this stuff. There's a survival guide, and you can actually get the app on your phone. It's SAS, Ultimate Survival Guide, and you can buy it in the book form, or you can get the app on your phone, which is really cool, because a lot of us nowadays are stuck on our electronics. I certainly am at times. But go ahead and get the book version to stuff in your bug out bag, because, your cell phone may get damaged or whatever. You have a backup with that book form. I intend on going and buying the book form, or even ordering it online, and just be prepared. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's what I've always kept to heart. And another thing that my stepdad taught me, God rest his soul, and is think before you act. Think before you take those steps to do certain things. Think about, basically plan out what's going on. Is this the right step for me to take? Should I try a different direction? Always think everything out clearly, and discuss it with your wife. Teach your kids. A good thing to teach your kids is hide and go seek. Hide and go seek is actually a survival instinct. Go teach your kids hide and go seek. That teaches them to hide. Take them out in a pasture somewhere and teach them hide and go seek. That's going to teach them to hide from the bad guys, to hide from predatory animals and such things. So that's a good thing, and I'll come back with another video on hide and go seek, because that was actually a tool to teach kids to hide from predatory animals or bad guys, and then if they were found, they were to run. So I'll come back with the genealogy on that, with the background on that. So just be safe out there. Think before you act. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I hope you like this video. If you have anything else to say, any comments, just leave them down at the comment bar below. Thank you.